I am Senior Observer Talonvero of the Concord Survey Wing, and I am recording this for the archives because nobody is going to believe it later. Honestly, I barely believe it myself, and I was there. First, you need context. Deathworlds are not planets. They are warnings. Worlds where gravity crushes bones, air poisons lungs, weather tries to kill you twice before breakfast, and the wildlife looks at armored soldiers the way we look at snacks. Civilized species avoid them. Brave species study them from orbit. Stupid species attempt colonization and then quietly disappear from history. For 12,000 cycles, the official record stated the same thing. No one survives a death world long term. Then humans claimed 3. Yes, 3. I was part of the observation crew assigned to verify the rumor. High Command assumed it was propaganda, or a translation error, or maybe a joke. We arrived expecting abandoned outposts and broken machinery. Instead, we found cities. Actual cities. Lights. Trade routes. Recreational parks. Someone had installed a restaurant chain. I remember Captain Rel staring at the display and saying, "They built cafes there?" Our pilot muttered, "Maybe they don't know it's dangerous." That was the first time we underestimated humans. Not the last. The first planet was called Cora, 9 by the galaxy. Humans renamed it New Haven. I still don't understand their sense of humor. The atmosphere was acidic enough to melt standard survey gear. Violent electrical storms rolled across continents every few hours. Native creatures hunted by vibration and tore through metal with ease. Humans wore jackets. Just jackets. We watched them walk through rain that would strip paint off a shuttle. One human waved at our observation drone. Waved, like we were neighbors borrowing sugar. Rel said, "Are they insane?" I replied, "Probably." Then I learned about their concept called adaptation. Apparently, humans refuse to accept nature as the final answer. They modify environments, build shelters, engineer crops, and if a predator attacks, they invent bigger weapons or smaller fences. Sometimes both. The second death world was worse. Extreme gravity, unstable tectonic plates, daily earthquakes. Most species would collapse under their own weight there. Humans built underground rail systems and joked about how leg day was mandatory. One recording showed a human athlete lifting weights while the building shook around him. Their announcer said, laughing, "If the planet tries to kill you, build stronger legs." I recorded that statement because it perfectly summarized humanity. The third world was the reason I started losing sleep. Designation Varn, 3. Atmospheric pressure fluctuating unpredictably. Toxic spores. Predators capable of camouflage, so effective even scanners struggled to detect them. Every expedition before had vanished without a trace. Humans called it frontier, because of course they did. We landed in secret orbit to observe. Regulations prohibited contact. The council wanted data, not diplomacy. I watched human settlers unload equipment while laughing and arguing about music. One woman, name tag reading Mara, stepped outside without a helmet. My translator warned me she was humming. Humming. On a death world. "Why are they so relaxed?" asked junior analyst Kiro. Captain Rel sighed. "Maybe they don't realize where they are." Kiro shook his head. "No, they know. Look at their defenses. Automated turrets. Motion sensors. Energy barriers built into fences. Children playing inside secure zones while adults repaired machinery. It looked normal. That disturbed me more than the predators. Then the attack happened. Our sensors detected movement. A native hunter slipped through the tree line, invisible until it moved. Massive, fast, deadly. The kind of creature that ended previous expeditions within minutes. The humans noticed instantly. No panic, no screaming. One of them shouted, "Fence breach." Another responded, "Again? Seriously?" They treated it like a recurring inconvenience. Turrets activated. Lights flooded the area. The creature charged. Humans moved together, coordinated without formal commands. One fired a projectile weapon while another redirected civilians. The beast crashed into the barrier, snapped at empty air, and retreated under concentrated fire. Afterward, the humans cheered. Cheered. Mara laughed and said, "That's the third one this week." Kiro turned toward me. They are enjoying this. I checked my notes twice to confirm reality. Here is the strange part. Humans were not fearless. I could see stress markers, elevated heart rates, rapid breathing. They felt fear. They just kept moving anyway. Most species avoid danger. Humans negotiate with it, argue with it, and occasionally make jokes about it. Later that cycle, we intercepted their internal communications. Casual conversation. One colonist said, "Remember when everyone said no one could live here?" Another replied, "Yeah, guess nobody told us." Laughter followed. I recorded every second. Back aboard our ship, Captain Rel requested permission to leave. "They don't need observation," he said. "They need therapy." But High Command refused. They wanted answers. How had humans done what no one else could? The answer became clear when we watched them at night. They told stories, shared food, argued loudly, helped each other repair damaged equipment. When storms destroyed buildings, they rebuilt immediately. When supplies ran low, they improvised. When something failed, they called it a learning experience instead of a catastrophe. Humans treated survival as a team sport, and somehow that worked. Then came a transmission that changed everything. A council broadcast ordered all species to abandon Deathworld colonization attempts immediately. Too dangerous. Too costly. Humanity was advised to evacuate. The human response was short. "No thanks. We're good." Kira laughed so hard he spilled nutrient gel on the console. Captain Rel stared at the message. They refused the council? I answered quietly, yes. Outside the viewport, the lights of 3 human settlements glowed against hostile landscapes. Proof that survival rules were not absolute. I realized something uncomfortable then. Humanity had not conquered the Deathworlds. They had befriended them, adapted to them, accepted the risk, and built lives anyway. And for the first time in my career, I understood fear. Not fear of the planets. Fear of what happens when a species that refuses to quit decides the galaxy has been playing it too safe. I ended my report with a simple note. No one survived the Deathworlds until humans stopped asking permission. I continued recording because the situation stopped being observation and started becoming history. And history has a habit of blaming the witness if details go missing. So yes, this is still Senior Observer Talon Vero speaking. And yes, I'm still confused. After the Council's evacuation order was ignored, things escalated quickly. The galaxy does not like being ignored. Entire diplomatic careers have ended over smaller acts of stubbornness. Humans, meanwhile, treated the warning like a weather forecast. One colonist said over comms, "Heavy regulations expected today. Bring umbrellas." They laughed. I did not. High Command sent a second message. This one was less polite. Withdrawal was mandatory. Enforcement fleets were being prepared. Captain Rel read the message twice and muttered, "This is going to end badly." Kiro leaned back in his chair. For who? Good question. We were instructed to maintain distance and observe reactions. Human settlements across all 3 Deathworlds received the notice simultaneously. I expected fear, maybe arguments, possibly evacuation planning. Instead, they held meetings. Calm meetings. People sitting around tables, drinking something steaming, discussing options like they were planning a neighborhood event. One human leader, a man named Luca, addressed a crowd on New Haven. "We knew this day might come," he said. "We're not leaving. This is home now." Applause followed. Applause. I replayed the audio 3 times, convinced I had mistranslated it. Captain Rel sighed. "They're going to challenge the council." Kiro corrected him. "They already did." Then something happened none of us predicted. The Deathworlds themselves started fighting back in their own way. Storms intensified. Quakes hit settlements. Toxic spores spread across frontier. Conditions worsened beyond normal parameters. Most species would interpret that as a sign to leave. Humans called it Tuesday. Emergency teams moved efficiently. Shelters opened. Engineers reinforced structures while joking about overtime pay. One broadcast showed Mara, the same humming colonist from before, standing knee-deep in mud directing repairs. A worker shouted, "This planet hates us." Mara shouted back, laughing, "Good. That means it notices us." I still do not know how to classify that response. Meanwhile, the Council fleet arrived at the edge of the system. Massive, clean lines, imposing design. The official message repeated again. Evacuate immediately. Humans replied with a simple transmission. We appreciate your concern. We decline. Hero whispered. They're negotiating like equals. Rel answered quietly. That's what scares them. The fleet commander attempted diplomacy first. Representatives requested a video conference. To my surprise, humans agreed. I watched the meeting through intercepted feeds. On one side, polished council officials. On the other, dusty colonists wearing work clothes and drinking caffeine. The commander said, "These environments are lethal. You are risking extinction." Lucas shrugged. "Everything is lethal if you stop paying attention." The commander insisted, "No civilization survives long-term here." Mara leaned into frame and said, "Guess you'll have to update your records." Silence followed. Pure, beautiful silence. Diplomacy failed quickly after that. Council enforcement drones entered low orbit as a show of authority. They did not fire. They only observed. Humans responded by inviting them to monitor weather data. I nearly dropped my tablet laughing. Hero said, "Are they mocking us?" "Yes," I answered, and somehow being friendly about it. Then the real problem appeared. A massive predator migration on frontier. Thousands of creatures moving toward human settlements at once, driven by environmental shifts. Our sensors predicted catastrophic losses. Even humans could not handle numbers like that. I expected evacuation. Instead, the colonists prepared. Barriers expanded. Lights activated. Loudspeaker systems played, noise designed to redirect movement. Drones guided the creatures away from populated zones. Some humans stood on rooftops shouting instructions and, strangely, encouragement. One shouted, "Easy, big guy. Wrong direction." Another said, laughing, "Who trained these things?" The entire event felt like control madness. The migration passed with minimal casualties. Council observers fell silent. Captain Rel leaned forward. "They just solved a Deathworld event with teamwork and sarcasm." Hero added, "And bad jokes." I corrected him. Effective bad jokes. After that, something shifted in the Council fleet. The tone changed. Less authority, more curiosity. The commander requested another meeting. This time, he asked a different question. "Why stay?" Luca answered without hesitation. "Because hard places make strong communities." Mara added, "And because nobody else wanted them." That line spread across the galaxy faster than any official statement. Species watching from afar started asking questions. If humans could survive Deathworlds, what else was possible? Were the limits everyone accepted actually limits or just habits? I began receiving messages from other observers. Quiet ones. Private. Are the reports true? Do they really laugh during disasters? Is it safe to talk to them? I answered honestly. They are strange. But yes, they survive. Eventually, the Council fleet withdrew. Not in defeat. Not in victory. Just uncertainty. Enforcement became observation. Policy discussions began about reclassifying Deathworld restrictions. Humans celebrated by holding a festival. On Frontier, during a storm, they danced. They cooked food outdoors under protective shields. Music echoed through the settlement while lightning flashed in the distance. I watched from orbit and felt something unfamiliar. Envy. These worlds tried to kill them every day, yet they looked alive in a way many advanced civilizations did not. Captain Rel finally said what all of us were thinking. "They didn't conquer the Deathworlds," he said softly. "No," I replied. "They learned how to live with them." I ended my final report with a warning, though I doubt anyone listened. Humanity will not stay on 3 worlds forever. They will go wherever others say survival is impossible. And when they arrive, they will bring tools, jokes, stubborn optimism, and a terrifying willingness to try anyway. No one survived the Deathworlds. Now humans are building homes there. And the galaxy is starting to realize that the dangerous thing was never the planets. It was the species stubborn enough to call them beautiful. If this story entertained or taught you something, please like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow and bring you more stories like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next story.